Okay, so in our yesterday session, we have seen a basic introduction about what is this course, and yeah, like who all can be eligible. Generally, it's ideal for data warehousing candidates or database candidates. Okay, those who are with database background, and especially if those who are good in, of course, database or data warehouse means it also applicable for those people who are working on a data lake or big data kind of thing, because we are all working on the data area. But only the tools that the big data people work are different. Okay, like Spark and AMR, big data, those things they will use. But they are almost, you see, data lake is in another or advanced form of the data warehousing. Okay, I think Somnath, you know the difference between what is data warehousing and what is data lake? I'm just asking, do you know, like, or for example, somebody asked what is the difference between data warehousing and data lake? What is your answer?
Yeah, I'm not fully clear, but yeah, so data warehousing is built for history, uh, like compute heavy calculations.
Okay. Do you think that in data warehouse, in data lake, you don't have, I mean, more data?
No, we have data, but yeah, aggregations and everything that we do, so it helps in data warehousing due to the architecture.
Okay. So then what is the data lake actually refers to? Why it's called lake kind of thing?
Because a lot of data are dumped into that, like kind of. Yeah, I'm not
Sorry?
sure. Yeah, I'm not
Okay, fine.
clear.
Yeah. Okay, at least tell me what is data lake, if you know.
No, I am not aware actually. You can explain.
Okay, cool. No problem. I'm just asking these questions because these, yeah, I mean, because you're working on data lake architecture and a data lake platform. So forget about whether they will be asked or not in the interview, but yes, better we know it. Okay, so yeah, I will touch this question again when I talk about the, or at least, yeah, now at least data lake means actually it will have, it's a lake, right? So it will have all types of file formats. Okay, so especially in data warehousing, we'll have data maybe in particular database, for example, Teradata, okay, or Redshift. So it's basically it's still in OLAP. Okay, OLAP means it's still in database form will be stored, or data will be there in some tables. Okay, it may be Teradata or Redshift or Snowflake, whatever it may be, but data is stored in tabular format in a relational. Okay, but when it comes to data lake, it's not necessarily data stored in databases, but data also can be stored in file formats like ORC, Parquet. Okay, I mean, open source file formats are there, right? I mean, more majorly used one is Parquet. I think you have used it with Parquet files. If someone have used Parquet files or anytime?
Yes. Yeah, we have used.
Yeah. So in data lake, we generally work with all types of data which actually not stored in database kind of platform, but everything mixed. That's why it's called lake actually. So mostly the data will be there in file formats. Okay, Parquet or ORC or row columnar. Yeah, RC, row columnar formats. So, and of course the data can be in the databases also. But when we say data lake, mostly it refers to these three types of file formats: ORC, Parquet, and RC. Have you worked with ORC files also?
No.
Only Parquet files?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Generally, in data lake means, yeah, data will be there in the file format. Okay, and yeah, we will try to process it using, PySpark or Spark or using Python. Yeah, because the data is there in the file format. But when it comes to the data warehousing, your data will be there in some database kind of thing like Redshift or Teradata or Snowflake or some database form, it will be there. Okay, so yeah, that is the measure. Yeah, in fact,
What is the
that means,
difference on processing?
yeah.
Cooking part, can you tell me like difference like what difference it makes processing in data lake and data warehouse.
Yeah, so yeah, actually, yeah, in fact, yeah, I'll tell you the difference is that because as the days progressing, the data is not just limited to database or relational. Especially, you see, now you are getting the log data or time series data, or the, for example, log data means these flights are moving, right? So even we are capturing all these signal data and all these things. So this data is not actually stored in databases. So we need a platform where we can capture all this data which is there in file format actually. So for that, actually the databases are not suitable or ideal. That is the reason to capture and process any sort of data, especially all these the log data, time series data, anything will be there in file format only. So for that, the actual suitable platform will be lake only. Lake means data should be stored in a file format and it should be processed without storing in the database. Actually the log data is not a good data to store in the database. That is the reason they want a platform where any type of data can be processed. Not necessarily it should be there in the database kind of thing. Yeah, that is the thing. So that's why, yeah, yeah, one most of the thing is this, the airplane is moving, right? Jets, and the data is captured in all the signals. Actually, that is not relational. It's a log data. Like that, for everything there is log data. For example, yeah, I take the Facebook, the Twitter. These are all emojis and all. So they will be stored in some file format thing. Okay, so they will be easily processed using these big data tools like Spark, PySpark, Scala, these things. So for that, the ideal thing will be, yeah, the data lake architecture, because yeah, the streaming data, yeah, that's what I'm referring. The streaming data. Okay, for that, actually the database is not actually the ideal one. Database means what? It rows and columns, and and especially you take the YouTube videos and all. Yeah, videos means streaming data. So and especially relational database or tables will have a lot of limitations. What are the column size cannot be this much, and even blob, clob, they will have only to some extent. But all those data can easily processed with the data lake tools like Spark, PySpark, yeah, Scala, Python, these things. So that is the reason. Basically, data lake is basically to process any sort of data. It may be streaming data or a log capturing. Yeah, these data. So that is the main, because nowadays everything is like that only, right? See, all social media data and all this data is more. That's why it is. They are calling it as big data. Earlier they are not calling it big data. They are calling only database or data warehouse, because everything is there in the database. So yeah, that is the main reason actually. So now summary, what is a data lake? Data lake means it's a place where it can store any sort of data. It may be relational or file data or streaming data or logs, anything, and it can process it. And that's why it cannot be processed directly like SQL kind of thing, but the same thing can be processed using Spark or PySpark, Scala, Python. So those things. Now you got it right. Where exactly the difference?
Yes.
Yeah.
The one
So
thing,
basically, sorry, you're saying something.
yeah,
I did
how I
not get.
just wanted to check like how we will be sharing the recording. Is it through Gmail? You'll share
Yeah,
the
yeah.
link or
Okay, okay. Yeah. Recordings. Yeah, I will share the. I will have all the links. Yeah, I will share all the links to you. Okay. I mean, to you means to all of you. I'll, okay, in a mail. Okay. Yeah, I mean, still we are in beginning. Okay, so I will share. I have everything in mail, so I will share to all of you. Okay.
okay.
So okay, cool. Okay, now yeah, coming. Let us coming. So yesterday we had discussed about the databases. So databases means yes, tables. and all other database objects, and then a relational database. All the tables are related with primary key, foreign key, and we have seen like what is primary key, what is foreign key, and all that stuff. Okay, but as the data increasing, so actually databases means actually the OLTP systems, like earlier, like Oracle, Postgres, RDS, MySQL, yeah, these are all. But as the data increasing, there you see initial days there was only some gigabytes of data, but as the data increasing, data is reaching to terabytes of data. Terabytes means 1000 GBs. So even Teradata could able to handle the data as long as the data is in some thousands of terabytes. Okay, 2000 terabytes, 5000 terabytes. But yeah, as long as the data is relational, Teradata was okay. But what happened, especially last 5 years, the big data came into picture. Big data means the social media data, the streaming data. So these data cannot be processed using relational databases. So that's where actually exactly some 5 to 8 years ago, there was big data actually was booming, but it just came like spark and it stayed for some time, and then it went away out of market because cloud has overtaken that. So now, of course, big data in cloud, that is called this EMR. Even Redshift also has a data lake kind of thing. Data lake means the same thing. Data which is there in file format can be processed. Okay, so even using Redshift, yeah, we will be discussing that how to process or how to work on WRC, okay, Parquet these files going forward. So actually, that kind of file formats actually overtook, because that is the nature of the data that is increasing rapidly. So even nowadays terabytes are nothing. Even I have seen one table with 100 terabytes, one table, single table. So they need some environment where even petabytes of data can be stored and processed. Okay, so that is the reason. And also, yeah, as the company is always looking for cost to be reduced, and performance should be, I mean, it should meet their performance requirements. Means every company will have some SLAs, right? While loading, yeah, it should meet or even better performance and less cost. Okay, so okay, for that, okay, so the cloud data warehouses came into picture. Cloud means, as I already said, somebody else will maintain. These are all managed data warehouses. They call managed services. So somebody else will maintain. They just have to pay for the services they use. Okay, so even AWS Redshift is a cloud data warehouse. Okay, so how do we define Redshift is, it's a petabyte scale columnar cloud data warehouse. Okay, petabyte scale means here the data, even petabytes means 1000 terabytes. Even petabytes of data it can process. So similarly, as I said yesterday, as long as you use, then only you will get the bill. And if you don't use this, you don't get the bill. And similarly, you see the lot of headache is reduced to the customers. They don't have to rent the premises, they don't have to purchase the hardware, they don't have to purchase the network cables, they don't have to purchase the or hire system admins, network admins, and they don't have to do patching, scaling, upgrading, nothing. And even all those things to do on premises, it will take a lot of planning and of course cost. But you can set up Redshift cluster in just 2 minutes in the cloud. So a lot of efforts and energy is saved to the customers. That is the reason all the customers are nowadays, everyone is just moving on to the cloud, because it's easy to set up, and it comes with very less cost, almost 1/10 of the cost, and performance will be 3x. Or in general on-premise, if it compared to on-premises databases, it's 10x, but Redshift even 3x faster than the other cloud services, or other cloud data warehouses. Means what are the other cloud data warehouses? Azure and Google BigQuery, so and Snowflake. If you compare that, it is 3x faster, and of course definitely 10x faster with the on-premises data warehouses. What are on-premises data warehouses? Oracle data warehouse, SQL Server, Of course, Teradata is better than them, but it's even better than the on-premises. Okay, so okay, so yeah, okay. Now let's come to the data warehousing. Yesterday we have seen databases. So data warehousing means we know, right? I mean, I'm telling from beginning so that we all will be on same page. Yeah, data warehouse actually it came from the database. Database means yeah, up to some gigabytes of data, that's fine. But as the data is increasing, so we call it as warehouse. Warehouse means generally, you know, right, godowns where items will be stored. For example, if you go to some shoe shop or somewhere, or any some shop, they will say they will have only some few items in the shop. If anything, for example, you go to washing machine, what they will say, okay, this is display item, actual item is there in the godown, they will say. Okay, so actually godown is the place where huge volumes of items are stored. Of course, in case of rice or anything, they will call it as warehouse in that case also. But similarly, where the huge volumes of data is stored, it is called data warehouse. Here, the thing is only data is stored, so it is called data warehouse. So it is based in case of items, we call it godown. Okay, so data warehouse means it's the place where huge volumes of data is stored. Okay, cool. So what are different types of data warehouses? Yeah, for on-premises, we have Oracle, SQL Server, you know, Teradata, and those things. I'm talking about this line. Okay, but yeah, for cloud, yes, we have AWS Redshift, Google Cloud, that is Google BigQuery, and Azure Cloud, and of course nowadays everyone try to have their own cloud, like you know, Oracle trying to have their own cloud. As I already said yesterday, why? Otherwise, their customers will leave. Okay, so in order to retain their customers, yes, they have to introduce their own cloud. Yeah, so the same thing like I said yesterday, what uh, Geo reduces the data rates. If others they don't reduce, everyone will move to Geo. So of course, everyone has reduced. So like that. So if similarly, Teradata is also deploying their customers on the AWS cloud. Of course, Teradata, those people actually these are public cloud. What Redshift, AWS, Google, Azure, these are all public cloud means they will offer their services to other customers also. So small companies, for example, even Snowflake, Teradata, they can use their services and they will pay for them for whatever services they are using. In that way, they are reducing cost to their own customers. If they don't do that, what happens? Customers will directly go to public cloud. Yeah, so that is the issue. That means they will lose their business. Okay, cool. So now we'll see like what is this data warehouse basics and all. Yeah. So data warehouse is a place where huge volumes of data is stored. In just one liner answer, not one liner, it's a summary of the entire data warehousing. Okay, data warehousing means it's a place where huge volumes of data is stored. That is called actually a data warehouse. Of course, it's a book level definition, but don't worry about it. Okay, so it's a place where huge volumes of data is stored. If you say book level definition, they will think that this man studied somewhere and presenting as it is. No need. Okay, we are an experienced people, and if you know this, it's like you know everything. Okay, purpose of data warehouse. Yeah, why should we have, or why should companies are maintaining data warehouse? Okay, why they are why there are so many tools coming? Okay, Oracle data warehouse, Teradata, these are all OLAP. Okay, Teradata, and of course now cloud data warehouses. Why the data warehouses are coming into picture or coming into market? Because you see, everyone is doing business, but if they don't analyze what's going on with their business, then what is used, or how do they develop? Okay, something is going on, but they have no clarity on what is going on. because that's not the way of doing good business, right? So companies will invest on storing their data and making some decisions out of it to analyze how the business is going, where they are doing good, where they are not doing good. Or for example, you take Reliance Smart. Okay, Reliance Smart. I'm just taking one example. Like that, I can take any example, or you can take SBI Bank or any bank. Okay, so you take SBI Bank. Uh, it has many multiple branches, right? These are all, they are available in multiple cities. So based on the transactions that are happening at every branch, they will see, okay, what are all the branches they are having good deposits. That means, for example, you see, you take, I'm not sure how you take, okay, I think Somnath is in different city. Yeah, you take one city within your state. For example, I will take an example in AP. AP, or especially in Vizag, there is a, place called MVP. Okay, where especially the multimillionaires, not multimillionaire here, at least the most rich people will be there. Okay, so definitely in those branches, obviously the more deposits, more home loans or car loans will go. So that means the management can see like that every branch where more deposits are coming, or where there is a need for loans introduction or credit cards they can offer, those things. So they can plan for that, and they can analyze like which branches are doing good or which branches are not doing good. So based on that, they can provide loans, credit cards, these things. So basically that means by storing the data and by analyzing the data, they can come up with some plans how to improve where they are not doing good, or of course how to improve better even in the places where they are doing good. Similarly, if you take Reliance Smart, okay, for example, they have multiple branches. Let's say certain branches are not doing good, then they can analyze based on the history of the data that is there. Okay, for example, why certain, for example, there is a one Reliance Smart, and their sales are not good. Then they can see, for example, there is some two types of rice brands of the rice. Okay, so every time customer is coming and asking for one rice brand, but that stock is not there. And there is one more, yeah, rice brand they're maintaining, but that is not at all going from last 1 year. So then what is the use of having that stock from last 1 year, and they are not bringing the stock which customers are looking for? So that kind of corrections they can make it. So whatever is in high demand, they should get it, and whatever is not at all demand, they can reduce the stock. So when they look into in detail, they will come to know, okay, what is the drawbacks of that store, and where they are doing good or they're not doing good. So for that, they have to maintain the history of the data. Or you take the stock market. If in stock market, for example, I'm not sure if anyone visited those sites. For example, you want to analyze, okay, some TCS stock or Wipro stock. What you will do, you will go and see like last 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 3 years, or even from the beginning. So if any stock is performing good from last 10 years, means obviously you will know that yes, it will perform going forward also, because you have not seen. Or for example, you take the Bajaj Finance. Bajaj Finance is really doing good, but its stock cost is some 13,000 or 15,000. It's even better than HDFC stock. Okay, there is never a time where it was failing. Although during COVID also, yeah, COVID time, all of them came down. Yeah, so when there is not good time, it also came down, but immediately it just kicked down to even better price than what it was before COVID. So that means based on history, we can easily predict how a particular thing will perform, or if something is not doing well, how to rectify it. So for that, like how we did in case of Bajaj Finance, we have seen the history. Similarly, to maintain history, we need to maintain the data warehouse. That is my point. In the data warehousing, we maintain the whole history. And especially if you take LIC and this kind of thing, the policies are some 25 years, 30 years. So you have to maintain that history. And especially for you take telecom companies, Reliance, Jio, or Idea, Vodafone, Airtel. For that, of course, they don't need 20 years, 30 years. You don't need. I mean, they hardly maintain some 3 years or maybe 5 years data. But based on the business, what type of business we are doing. Especially if we take HDFC kind of bank, yeah, they are also maintaining some 10 years of transactions, customer transaction, your bank statement, the thing I'm talking about. But of course, if you have deposits and all, yes, they have to maintain till whatever tenure you have deposited. So yes, loans again, whatever tenure, they have to maintain the transaction history. So for that, yeah, OLTP, I'll tell you, in fact, this is introduction of OLTP and OLAP. OLTP means the general databases, they are not possible. To store the history, you have to have the OLAP databases, which are called data warehouses. So yeah, that is the main thing. Okay, so how to maintain the so much history like 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? So that's where the need for data warehouse. So okay, why they are maintaining data warehouses? Why they are maintaining data warehouse means actually they will analyze the data and they will present the data. They'll present the data in some bar charts and pie charts and all. I will show you. Any experience with, I mean, at least you know that there are BI tools, right? Like Tableau, Microsoft Power BI, Business Objects, Cognos, these things. These tools will only analyze and present the data like this, you see. You see, these are all, these are called pie charts. Okay, so this will show like how the business is going in particular areas or what is the profits. Okay, for example, this is about a bank, how much is profits with loans, deposits, home loans, within that again, within the loans, home loans, car loans, vehicle loans, like that. So how the business is going, for example, business is not going. Similarly, so finally, all the this is a different type, another type of visual. Okay, so all these things will be generated using some BI tools. BI tools means business intelligence tools. What are those business intelligence tools? Cognos, Business Objects, Tableau, even AWS QuickSight, Microsoft Power BI. These are all. Okay, so these BI tools will run on top of the data warehouse. Okay, for these tools, what is the source? Your data warehouse. So that means in order to analyze this, because why, especially why we need this kind of visuals, because top level management can easily understand them only. They cannot query and analyze and all. In fact, because they are the senior executives, right? I mean, they of course they are not technical, and they in fact I mean, they are big bosses, so they don't have to do that. Okay, they'll employ people like us, or they employ BI engineers. Our job is to do this, and they will analyze this and they will make the decisions. That is the purpose of data warehouse. Data warehouse purpose is to analyze the things, how they are going or not going, and then they will use that reports to make better decisions to improve their business. So since the business will happen every day, for example, yeah, Reliance Mart, every day so many transactions will be generating, and every bank there will be so many transactions will be generated, so they will be loaded daily into the data warehousing. That's why as a software engineers, we always deal with loading data. Okay, every day some jobs will load daily, some jobs will load weekly, I mean weekly, some jobs will load monthly, and there are some jobs will load quarterly. Okay, so our job is to generate some pipelines means ETLs in case of ETL terminology. Okay, and take the daily generated files and load it into warehouse, and make sure we load it before the SLA time. Every job will have SLA, service level agreement, and our job is in case of development will happen only once. Yeah, during the development we will generate all the pipelines and all, and after that maintenance. Maintenance means every day files are generating properly, are loading into the whatever warehouse every day properly or not. In case of any failures, yes, we have to troubleshoot it and fix the issue and restart the job and make sure we load the data every day. And similar, that is our ETL or data engineer's role. And once we load the data, after that there is another process that BI engineer's job will start. They also will generate this kind of reports. Okay, this is also development, like Tableau development, Microsoft Power BI development, Cognos business objects development, or AWS QuickSight. QuickSight is a BI tool, reporting tool. QuickSight development will be there. So they also will generate their reports after we load into warehouse. So they also will, then these reports will be emailed to the senior management. So they will say, okay, okay. So they will analyze every day. Also they will analyze. That is their job. Whose job? Top level management job. How things are going or not going on a daily basis. They also will see summary reports like weekly reports, monthly reports, how this month they did, or quarter on quarter reports, how this quarter went fine. So they also will have close watch on everyday business, how it's going and how it's not going. Every day we do good, then only we'll do good every week and every month and every quarter, right? So that's their job. They will analyze these reports, and they also will alert if something not going. So yeah, so that is actually the purpose of the data warehouse is to analyze their business so that they can take proper decisions to improve their business. Bus. Okay, so that is the reason they're investing a lot of money and capturing the data and storing and loading and then generating BI reports to make the I mean to make better decisions to improve their business. Of course, it costs something, but out of those decisions they are multiplying their business, so profits they are getting more. That's why they're investing something, otherwise who will invest? So that's the reason every multi-level business, yes, they are using these BI tools to analyze their data, and in fact they are developing. We are seeing how people are growing and making more profits. Okay, so that is the reason. Okay, then if you come to the development, I mean, we have seen summary like how the whole business will go. So now, okay, how they will do this? Okay, at the development level. So okay, so now we'll come to the main thing. They will implement this in two things, like schemas. They call schema design in data warehousing. Okay, so that is they call star schema and snowflake schema. Okay, so anyone heard about what is star schema and snowflake schema? My first question will always be to Somnath. Somnath, you heard about star schema and snowflake schema anytime before?
No, I didn't work with data warehouse. But yeah, I've heard the term.
Yeah. So maybe you heard during the interviews?
No, not in interviews. When like I heard in the meetings or something.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool. Yeah. How sorry, just for how many interviews you gave, Somnath? I mean, in your career till now?
Yeah, I didn't give any interviews till now.
Yeah, that's. I mean, in your career, whole career, not much, one or two. That's all.
Yeah, so initially I gave
Okay.
3-4 from college. Yeah, after that I didn't give.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it's good start. Okay, you are in right person. Yeah. If you go to any interview, there will be a question on this. Without this, there is no interview. Okay, so yes, we must know about what is the star schema and snowflake schema and all this stuff. Okay, cool. What about you, Krishna? Or are you there at least?
Yeah, I'm here only. I have given around 10 interviews.
Yeah. Have you heard about star schema and snowflake schema anytime before?
Yes, I do. Star schema is a simple schema which will be used for reporting purposes. The number of tables will be limited, and dimensional tables are surrounded by a single fact table. Generally, we call it as a data marts. When coming to snowflake, the dimensions will be having sub-dimension tables. That's the reason it's called as a snowflake. The maintenance for the snowflake will be more, since the number of tables are very huge.
Okay. Right now, for example, you're working to one company, right? This is which number company? Which number company means no company. Okay.
It's third company.
Uh, First, second, third.
Third one, yeah.
Huh?
Yes, third one.
Since how long you're in this company?
1 year by this September.
Okay. So every concept that I'm teaching, this is for everyone. Every concept that I'm teaching after my session, you just go to net and do a deep dive on it. That will help you in your career to grow, okay, even to the peak levels. Okay, so I'm telling you, um, you can even reach up to 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs CTC if you focus on the concepts that I telling. And concepts means you should go in deep every concept. For example, I'm talking about star schema and snowflake schema. Okay, don't just depend on the one liner statement that I gave. Okay, for example, if I'm going to tell you now star schema, okay, I will tell you, of course, all these summary points, of course, after explaining them only. But you need to search in net and validate, and you should also see different views of the other expert people that are available in the net, what they are saying about it, because generally some architects also will respond to these type of answers, and you will be able to see, okay, how what they're discussing, or like how, what is their view. That means you're already working like an architect and reviewing other architects, okay, views on this particular question. So then only you will be at that position in some place. If you just say, okay, one liner I gave, for example, you all said okay something, I will say something, okay, in fact I will correct you something, then you should not just of course, you one thing is that you can accept mine, but you should also go to the internet world and see, to understand it better, what about the other architects are saying. Okay, so okay, now I will correct what you said. You just mixed it everything, Krishna. So yeah, okay, no problem. Okay, so but anyway, you have not given trainings to the outside world, so what you said is okay. Okay, but I have been in the training for almost 14 years, and I was giving training to even to other designers and architects. Okay, so that means in the training we are even discussing, and of course, when people comes to training, they also will browse and come. Okay, they also, I mean, especially the senior people, they don't come and accept whatever I say. They also will validate and say, okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, if something is not right, or if something I'm missing, they will add. But of course, I have crossed all the tenures. All the tenures means maybe I did that mistake maybe at the 2 years of training, 3 years of training, 5 years of training. I crossed all the tenure, and now I have that summary knowledge, and I'm telling. So if you go to internet world, you will see only whatever I said as the final summary. But I want you to go and experience that. That is my point. Okay, and I have
Yeah.
given
Okay.
more than
Yes.
I have given more than 500 interviews. Okay, I have given more than 500 or 1000 interviews. I have given more than, I mean, guidance to I think more than some 10,000 people, students. So interviews, I myself personally gave more than 500 or 1,000 interviews. So every there is no company that I did not get offer. Okay, so that means whatever I said is right. In fact, I'm also, I mean, working employee, so I'm also panel, I mean interview panel. So my definition is what, if you say, you will be selected any interview that you give. Okay, so with that confidence, whatever I'm telling, just research on it. That will help you to grow in the career. That means it will just solid, it will make you solid even in the sleep also. If someone asks, yes, this is what it is, just bus. And in fact, these concepts are only theory concepts and theory questions, okay, in the interview. So you don't have to worry about it. They just need right understanding of the concept. Okay, cool. So okay, now, okay, so the first question, they'll in the interview they'll ask, what are, I mean, you heard about anything like schema? Immediately some people will say, yeah, in the Oracle I have something like schema, or in Postgres also I have schema. So like that they will say, especially the college people who is working from maybe like Somnath. He is a college graduate. Yeah, but of course he's real time. So, and he heard someone talking about schema, so he knows, yeah, star schema, snowflake schema. But some people, those who don't have such exposure, they will say, yeah, schema means database schema, they will think. Then we will know, okay, maybe he did not get that exposure. Some people with little bit of exposure, they will say, yeah, I know like schema, that is star schema and snowflake schema, they will say. Yes, then we say that, yes, he at least heard, but he may not be worked. Okay, that's fine, but he heard. Okay, then, yeah, what are those different types of schemas? Okay, then the answer is star schema and snowflake schema. Okay, star schema and snowflake schema. So these are the two things you can tell in the entire business or in industry. One of these two will be used. Either they are using star schema or they are using snowflake schema. Okay, they will be using. And of course, I have seen customers using either one of them, every customer that I worked with. So with that experience, I can say any customer you go, either you're using star schema or snowflake schema bus, because without that they cannot maintain the data warehousing. Okay, okay, then what is the question? What are different types of schemas? Yes, different types of schemas are star schema and snowflake schema. If you, yeah, again I will tell you, if you see in a net, you will see other schema, like, I think there is one more thing, um, a constellation schema or something, but don't get confused about it. That is only for information use. Okay, you can go and study, but these are the two answers the interviewer is expecting: star schema and snowflake schema. Fact constellation schema, this schema, that schema, not required. Okay, that's why I'm telling you can just rely on my answers. Okay, so then if he says any other schemas, then you can say, yes, the fact constellation schema, all that schema, you can tell by, because he has asked. But what he's expecting is a star schema and snowflake schema. Okay, so without, if you tell this, if you tell anything else, I mean, you will not consider as you know them. Okay, cool. So star schema and snowflake schema. Okay, then what is star schema and what is snowflake schema? That is the next question. Okay, so before going to that, we need to know two terms like fact table and dimension table. Okay, so yes. Okay, anyway, I have notes for everything. I just want to know, Krishna, you know anything about what is fact table, what is dimension table?
Yeah, fact table will always have the primary keys in it. Those will be used for reporting purpose. The dimension table will be having foreign keys. Those are present in the fact table columns, and history maintenance will be happened in the dimension table based upon the subject area like customer, product, etc. So These are, I think.
Okay, can you repeat again? And my question is, what is fact and what is dimension? Or yeah, tell me about fact data and dimension data.
Fact data will always be having numeric data. Use it for reporting.
Tell me
So
everything you know about fact table and dimension table or fact data and dimension data.
yeah, sure. So in fact table, the majorly it will be a numeric data which are used for reporting, and it will be having almost all primary keys that are available in the fact table, and these primary keys will be available in the dimension table as a foreign keys. In the dimension table, we will be maintaining the history of that subject area, like product, customer, or agreements. Whenever it is changing, I mean, slowly changing dimensions are there, right? That kind of thing will be maintained. And dimension table will include numeric data as well as textual data, like characters data. So these are the things I'm aware of.
Okay, so after my training, whatever I said, you take that as the final. If dimension data will have numerical data and textual data, then what is the user fact table? I mean, generally in the interview, they don't question you like that. Okay, they will just listen to your answer and say, okay, I mean, we'll get back to you or call you later, something they'll say and send you. Okay, they don't tell any, they don't talk anything in the interview. They'll just only listen whatever you say. Okay, so okay, no worries. So, oh yeah, why I'm telling what I said right is every interview that I gave is a success. Okay, I mean, as I said, right, there is no company I have not get offer. So that means my answers are right. So you can take that as the, I mean, proof.
Final one. Sure, sure.
Yeah. So yeah, what you said actually is wrong. Okay. I mean, if you said tell like this, no, I mean, even I don't select. Similarly, others also don't select. Okay. So anyway, I will tell you. So okay, fact data means you can just browse. You see, I mean, I request everyone to prepare a notes. I mean, not now, after the session. Okay. I mean, I will send this notepad also, Redshift training notes to every one of you. Every term that I'm discussing, you prepare your own notes in a Word document and send it to me at the end of the training. Okay, I'll make a booklet kind of thing. We'll add questions and all. Okay, fine. So fact data means anyway. I'm not asking Somnath because he has not worked on data warehousing and he is not from data warehousing background. So actually, fact, we call it fact table or fact data, because this fact table will store only fact data, so we are calling as fact table. Okay, and yeah, so actually what is fact table means the table which stores numerical values or measures is called fact table. Or yeah, what is fact data means, yeah, numerical measures or values is called actually fact data. You just need to tell these two words in the answer. What is fact data? Numerical values or measures is called fact data. Okay, and for example, you take, wait, let us take Reliance Smart only. You are a customer, you went. Okay, so you will buy, okay, particular, everything is a product or item there. Okay, in a Reliance Smart, everything they will have item for item. In supermarket, so many items will be there, right? Even brush, toothpaste, everything. Okay, vegetables, I mean, any item, I think so many items will be there. So for every item, there are different things. For example, you take one item, that is brush, let's say. Color, brand, I mean manufacturer, these things are weight. And another thing is that quantity, price, these values will be there, right? For everything. For example, you buy 200 grams Colgate, yeah, color, white, okay, some manufacturer and manufacturing date, then brand, Colgate, and price, yeah, some price will be there. Quantity, like number of items purchased. that will be there. So measures means price, quantity, these things will be called measures or numerical values. Okay, so for like that, for every item, yes, quantity will be there, price will be there. Okay, or for him it's items sold, for us it items purchased. But this report will be generated with respect to that store, means supermarket. So items quantity sold, so price. So this kind of values are called numerical values or measures. That data will comes under fact data, and this will be stored in fact table. I will tell you what is a fact table in star schema. Similarly, in dimension tables, yeah, for example, the same Colgate, that brand, color, manufacturer. So all these things will comes under like item price, okay, item manufacturer or item brand, so color. So these things will be coming under dimension table. Okay, so for example, you take, oh yeah, definitely what you said is right. What they will maintain some history at the dimensions tables data. Yes, for example, you take Fair and Lovely. Okay, it was earlier Fair and Lovely, it was coming in some other color. Now it's coming with a different color. Okay, so they will maintain all that. Okay, till what time it came with a particular color, and now it's coming with which color. So all those things they will maintain the history at the dimension table level. And similarly, the columns, what are those columns? Like, for the manufacturer changed, that will be captured in the dimension tables. So okay, so while coming to the history, that we will discuss in detail later. But for now, dimension data means the textual, yeah, the textual data or the descriptive data is called dimension data. Color, which color? Colgate color. Manufacturer, who's manufacturer? Okay, the Colgate paste manufacturer or brand. So I mean, in case of clothes and all. So okay, so actually this descriptive data, it describes the fact data. Okay, the dimension data means the textual or descriptive. Actually, how to write this? Textual or descriptive data. Descriptive data which describes the fact data is called dimension data. Okay, dimension tables or dimension data means textual. TXT. I mean, what is it? TXT. Hey, what is spelling, man? Textual. Okay, let it be. Textual or descriptive data. Descriptive data which will actually describe the fact data is called dimension data. So in fact, what we are having, we have only quantity, items sold. Yeah, that is quantity, and price. Which price or which item quantity? That data will be there in the dimension table. But in fact table, you will have only price, number of sold, total items or total price. All that summary data, aggregated data will be there in the fact table. Okay, now, so for now, I don't want to confuse you. I will show you the diagram, then you will understand better. What is fact data? Simple. Numerical values or measures is called fact data. That is what you need to know and you need to tell. Okay, in the interview, not lot of weightage will be given these two, but they will expect clear understanding from you. Okay, because what your job you are doing is on SQL and writing and loading that stuff, so that will carry more weightage. Okay, so but they will ask this to know your understanding. So what is fact data? Okay, numerical values or measures is called fact data. Bus. In every interview, I was asked this question and I was answering the same, and I was selecting. I was selected and I have been selecting and I will be selected. Okay, and I'm telling to the all the students and everyone is getting selected. So you just present like this. What is fact tables or fact data? numerical values that measures is called fact data. Bus. You no need to go in detail. Or, I mean, actually, this is it explains everything if you tell like this. And dimension table or dimension data. Textual or descriptive data is called dimension data. Okay, if you tell, that is enough. Okay, but actually it describes the fact data. This is extra I have added now, but actually that is not required. Textual or descriptive data is called dimension data. Okay, the highlighted line I told you just to give you more understanding. Actually, what it describes the fact data actually, like quantity, items sold, those things we added in fact table, right? So which quantity or which item, those answers to those questions will come from the dimension data, because dimension data only will store that, okay, brand, manufacturer, color, all those things. So the dimension data means textual or descriptive data is called dimension data. That's what you need to tell. I mean, that was told by Krishna already. Okay, textual or descriptive data is called dimension data. But what he said wrong here is it also stores textual data and measures also, or fact also. He said that's wrong. Okay, that will again give him wrong impression. That means he is clubbing both of them. Okay, dimension tables means it will have only textual or descriptive data. Descriptive means what it will describe. It will describe the fact table or fact data. Okay, it describes the fact data. Dimension data is the one which describes the fact data, bus, and it will have only textual or descriptive data. Okay, so that means what you understood. Fact table will have numerical values or measures, means number data. Measures means quantity sold, item sold, item price, total items sold, or total bill, those things, or number of customers visited, those things, all are numbers. That's why its measures and numerical values are called fact. Dimension means color, size. You see, you may think size is the number, but anyway, it will come with your experience and while you're working. Size mean, for example, I mean, weight, you take the Colgate paste weight, it is 200 grams. Okay, so it is nothing to do with 200 grams in the fact data, so it will not be considered as a measure. Okay, so because in the toothpaste manufacturing, there are different toothpaste will come 100 grams, 200 grams, 500 grams, like that will come, right? So to classify that, yeah, these things will be there in the product table. Okay, so okay, item toothpaste, color red, manufacturer Colgate, weight 200 grams, or Colgate 200 grams. They can club like that also. Okay, so for that they will have some product code or something. Okay, it will be taken care in that code also. So like how they design, it all depends on. They can consider it as a separate column, or within the another code they may represent. But that all comes under as a dimension. Okay, textual or descriptive data is called dimension data. That's what you need to remember. So simple. Textual, like measures numerical values or measures is the fact data. So textual or descriptive data is the dimension data. So what it describes? It describes the data which is there in the fact table. But why I'm spending this much time is, this is a separate definite question they will ask, and if you tell wrong answer, it's like we are lagging the basics. So they will not be impressed, because without basics nobody will be impressed. Okay, fine. Okay, then we said that in dimension tables, yeah, dimension data will tend to change over time, right? So color will change, manufacturer will change. For example, you see some items will not be continued. Okay, they will discontinue and some new manufacturer will come. Okay, sometimes, yeah. So dimension data will tend to change over time. So they call slowly changing dimensions. In the interview, they will ask, do you know SCD? Do you know SCD? Yes, slowly changing dimensions. Bus. Okay, you don't say slowly changing dimensions. Do you know SCD? Yes, I know SCD, slowly changing dimensions. What are those different types of SCDs? Different types of SCDs are SCD type 1, SCD type 2, SCD type 3, or you can say slowly changing dimensions type 1, slowly changing dimensions type 2, slowly changing dimensions type 3. If you browse in the net, you may find slowly changing dimensions type 4, type 5 and all that stuff, but that's not required. Whatever I'm said, it is must, you should know. Whatever extra you found, you just read it and just keep it aside. That is for your information only. Okay, but whatever I'm seeing here, that is the must information you should know and you should present. So what the interviewer expecting is, yes, slowly changing dimensions type 1, slowly changing dimensions type 2, slowly changing dimensions type 3, you should answer. Okay, what is type 1? What is slowly changing dimensions type 1? Because in real time, you see, there are certain tables we need to maintain latest data, right? For example, customer care executives, they should always have latest data because active customers will call them. Okay, and as we take the employee information, employee table should have all the latest employees, and all the people who are attending our calls should have that data, like when we joined, those things. And there are certain tables which they have to hold some 3 months data or 6 months data to answer customer queries. For example, if you talk to Airtel or some Vodafone, they will have your access up to some 3 months, I think 3 months or 4 months. More than that, they will say, sorry, we will not be having access, you need to visit nearby something, they will say, because that is one type of business requirement. Okay, only some 3 months data or 4 months data will be given access to them to answer the customer queries. For example, you say, hey, last month I have recharged so and so, but it's not, it's, I mean, I have recharged it for 6 months, but after 1 month only it's just saying expired, can you please check? Then they will check 30 days back, like what happened, and they will just answer you what happened. So that means that is called actually SCD type 3, means current data plus recent history. Okay, recent history. Recent means last 3 months data, or 4 months data, or 6 months data. Current data plus last, I mean, recent history. History means last three months data, 4 months data, or 6 months data, or sometimes maybe last 1 year data. That is SCD type 3. What is SCD type 1? It will have only current data. Bas. What is the current list of employees? That will have only SCD type 1. I mean, definitely for in case of employees, it should have only current active employees. So that is one requirement. And customer care, they need to have some 3 months or 4 months access. So that is a different requirement, SCD type 3. SCD type 2 is actually, it's a big thing. Whole business is running SCD type 2 because SCD type 2 will have current data plus complete history, or full history. And what we do in real time is implementing this SCD type 2 mostly. I mean, it requires some logic, but yeah, I will tell you how to. I mean, how do we do coding? Coding means I will tell you now what you are doing in your office. SCD type 1, how you are writing. SCD type 3, how you are writing. SCD type 2, how to implement. Okay. So in the next class. Okay, so SCD type 2 means current data plus full history, and there is definite question in every entry on SCD type 2. 100% question. SCD type 2, current data plus full history. Okay, very important. I would suggest you to have a look on this SCD type 1, type 2, type 3 by tomorrow's session. Okay, so yes, this is the one of the even nowadays, not on every entry that I'm giving, I'm getting question on this SCD type 2, type 1, type 3. So this is such a high importance. I would suggest you to go through some, okay, reading on the SCD type 1, type 2, type 3 before coming to the next session. Okay.
One question: what is the definition of current here? Like maintain current data. Current means
Current
today's
data
data.
means latest data. Latest data. For example, you joined as an associate engineer. Okay. After 1 year, you made as a engineer or system engineer. Then Somnath designation system engineer. Okay. From that date, it will become a latest record. Or after 2nd year, you made a senior software engineer. Then Somnath senior software engineer, and the date from which senior software engineer was given, those data will become a current data or latest data. And your system engineer, associate engineer, they will become old data or past data.
So you can say it also like maintain current or updated data like that. Like in a sense, you can think of
Updated
like
is not the correct term. That's why I'm saying updated. We should not say updated. Current or latest. Okay.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because based on your terminology, we will know. I mean, this guy don't have much exposure or experience. We should not say updated, current data or latest data, because in the business meetings we always talk this terminology with the architects and all. Or of course, basically current data and latest data means it is the updated one. Or you should always add latest. Updated one means it may be updated 2 days ago. Latest updated. Okay, that's why we call current data or yeah, most recent or latest updated. That's why I mean current data is the correct term. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, it is the updated one, last updated one. Yeah, last updated one. Okay. Current data means last updated one, right? Somnath?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you can say last updated one, but not just updated one. Okay, it will always have the latest data. That is the right term. It will always have the latest data. Okay, or current data. No need to use the term updated one, but actually last updated one is the equivalent term. Yeah, any other questions? Yeah, actually, Krishna, you need to work, I mean, lot of, background work on your fundamentals. Okay, if you want to become a trainer for the senior people. Okay,
Sure,
first hour.
sure. I will do.
Yeah,
Because
so
if I get the this kind of feedback only, then only I can become more stronger, right? So I will take it. Definitely, I will
yeah,
do background work.
yeah, right, right. Okay, any other questions?
Not from myself.
Okay, thank you, Somnath. See you tomorrow. Okay, okay, Krishna, if you have no questions, we are good to drop. What about Prasad?
No, sir, no questions.
Okay, then. Yeah, take care. Bye.